Previously on Roll No Evil.
I'm just getting on the whole magic is real.
I don't know much about this whole magic is real nonsense.
Magic is real. You should be real afraid of it.
Standing before you, snarling, a real-life werewolf.
Magic isn't always bad.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
Care to tell me more about your affiliations with Lydia Bowes like the headphones?
I came here with an item. There's a book written by Lydia Bowes. It's where I learned how to do my little tricks.
Same creepy dark figure from Weird Magic Boy's vision? Am I going crazy?
No, you're not going crazy. Just think you might have saw a demon.
Don't take me for a wooden spoon, my good sir. You seem to know much more than you're letting on.
I think we need to look to Atticus. Remember how the sisters reacted to his list?
You know documents like these. It's a contract.
Shall we find that paper? Find out the truth of this otherworldly bitch?
Behind the large desk sits a form Felicity knows. You are late to our meeting.
Travi, just so you know, you'll probably have some background rain noise in mine.
It's ambiance.
Okay, hold on.
Ambiance.
Moment of silence. Let's capture it.
Why are we quiet? It's on his end.
I
don't know how audio recording works.
I wanted to hear the rain.
Part of the ambiance.
We all
go
like
through his headphones.
simultaneously just thought that's how it works.
I wanted to hear it.
I'm gonna keep that in.
I wanted to hear the rain.
Oh my
This
God.
is why we need a physical studio, so that we can all do this in the same spot.
All right, let's meet Kevin.
Are we ready?
Meeting Kevin.
Praise be unto Kevin.
I fully plan on
late.
calling him Kevin in character.
Episode 1 of Tables and Parasols. Episode 2, Entering Atticus. Episode 3, Holy shit, we killed Norma.
Episode 4, Kevin.
Just Kevin.
Just Kevin.
Just Kevin.
Exclamation point.
But I need it in like the like demon haunted font, like when you put it through like the text generator and it's like all over the place.
Or like those like heavy metal like fonts that you like can't read. It's just Kevin like just scratched.
Kevin.
All right. So as we left off last time, you almost killed Norma. Shout out to the look system.
None of this use bullshit. It was all Eddie who almost killed Norma.
All right, you want to be scoped as the bad guy? It's fine. I was trying to give you a little bit of grace.
Listen, I'm a big Billie Eilish fan. I embrace what I do.
And you have crashed now into the study.
Eddie has crashed into
Yeah.
gaping hole in the fucking study wall.
Eddie
Yes.
does life a gaping hole.
You should see Atticus's brain right now.
I forgot that you.
The throwback.
That's a throwback.
That's a fucking knee slapper right there, bud.
Yes, because you were tackled in. Was it by Norma? I believe.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
fairly certain I was yeeted through a wall like the Kool-Aid Man, but in reverse.
Yeah, right after you almost killed her, she yeeted you through the wall.
Yeah, deserved, honestly.
Have you reverted back to your form, or are you still a big beefy werewolf?
No, I think she reverted back.
All
Oh,
right.
yeah,
At the very
Felicity
end.
and Felicity was on the floor like hugging her.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
Okay.
We were having a sweet
We had a moment and we were interrupted by Kevin.
Okay, we were interrupted by
Fucking Kevin.
Yes. All right. You're all within the study. Now, looking room, fitting of the name. Large oak desk, a series of bookshelves lining each wall, filled with not just books, but ledgers and important documents. You're not alone, and not just because of the strange figure that sits behind the desk. Sitting neatly and standing along the wall, some in plum-colored cushioned seats, others hanging very neatly with their hands in front of them clasped, are figures reminiscent of the strange man who sits before you. There is one of a man, the other a woman. There are two that are flanked to either side where the crowned figure sits. The man and the woman seem human, albeit humans in outdated fashion. The man in a starched Regency-styled evening suit. The woman in nightgown, your mother's would wear. Hairstyled in that ridiculous way older ladies would think would keep curls the next morning. But that was only till you looked upon their face, because any humanity that had once been there had been sucked out, leaving them as humanish-shaped husks. Any hues of mortality had been stripped from their skin, leaving it an endless, deep black, like the night sky, much in the same vein as the figure behind the desk. If not for their hair and their clothing, which still look as if they were plucked from their closets and brushed neatly, you would believe them to be ink drawings, not something two-dimensional, as well as the eyes. The only things that poke out from the darkness, wide and bloodshot, but still human. Behind the desk, the two that flank either side look almost familiar in a way. Not the face, you can barely see, even though the eyes are the same, similar shade, and their hair in disarray, almost as if it had become undone from their fashions. You remember the clothing. Very neat, nice clothing. One that you thought looked very welcoming when they invited you into their home earlier that day.
Knew it.
The Flower Sisters.
Kevin?
And Kevin.
The Kevins.
The Kevin sisters?
Flora and Fauna McKevin.
Settled in... No, go on. Interrupt the rest of the narration for your bit.
Which one's Flora and which one's Fauna?
Flora was the younger, cute one because that's the one that Felicity was flirting with. Spoiler alert.
There's a flirty one and a not so.
There's a flirty one and
Is
a
it a
bitch.
spoiler if we experienced her flirting with her?
You know what? Happy Pride from Roll No Evil.
You're right.
This will probably come out in like October.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
Arizona Pride
That's
Month.
George Pride.
There you go.
that
Every
works.
day is
It's
Pride Month.
somebody's Pride
Every
Month.
day's Pride.
Every day is
You're gay.
Pride Month.
Yeah.
Every day is a whole month of pride.
Settled in his rightful place behind... at this point, I'm just going. I'm just
Moving on.
Moving on. At this point, I need to just be like, all right, I'm going.
Yeah, no, you're
Yeah.
right.
Settled in his rightful place behind the large desk sits the kingpin of the demonic troupe. Just as them, he's an endless silhouette of shadow in physical form. But unlike the underlings, there is no garb or remnants of human fashion or anything. He is a dark, endless black that seems to swallow any light, including the red overcast from the red-tinted sky framed over his shoulder in a window frame. His head, or his hat, is the most decorative part of his form. Like a headdress, 5 triangular points sprout from one side of his head to the other. A crown, it almost looks like. A crown fitting for a king of demons.
Quick question. Is Eddie the only one seeing this right now?
You are all seeing.
Okay. So we can see this through the hole. The hole is big. Eddie made a fucking Kool-Aid-sized hole enough that we can all see this.
Yeah, you can all see this. Eddie is in the next room. I believe that Atticus and Alexander went to go follow him, while the rest of you can see this.
Episode 4, Demons in Eddie's Hole.
Kevin's in Eddie's hole.
Kevin in Eddie's Hole.
Canon.
I think I just found the titles for my episodes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thing involving making
for
holes.
the AU episodes.
Those are
It
the
just-
titles in your heart. Or in your hole,
These just
rather.
sound like fanfic titles about this.
Oh, the tags on this would be popping off.
Poppin'.
If I see any one of these characters on Archive of Our Own, I will
We've made it.
happiness piss myself.
Yeah.
I was gonna say we've made it at that point. If we get AO3 of
No,
any of these
listen,
characters,
Some
My,
ships.
my hope is that we get those like really cool animatics that people draw.
I would cry.
I
would-
would cry.
I would
I
cry.
like that we're on two different wavelengths of like, I want nice little animatics. I want fanfiction.
I want smut.
I want
I want
smut.
full on
Flipping.
Rule 34
Yeah.
Kevin.
Unless, if any, I will say this now, if any motherfucker decides to put a fucking Atticus and Felicity thing out there, I will hunt you down and I will kill you.
cursed
Well, funny
ship.
you say that.
Don't
Forbidden
you
ship.
fucking dare.
Sink that ship.
I just need fan art of Eddie and himself.
Ed, and Eddie.
Just
Ed and Eddie.
All I want is a fan art of Eddie just going like,
Like brain blast.
An Atticus just like
Atticus centrally holding his spear.
yeah,
obsessed.
caressing his spear. His spear.
The shaft.
Just Atticus with the
shaft.
fucking Ahigao face, and Eddie just behind him, like. Which I know, like, I always forget that this is an audio-only format that we're recording. So, like, that little scream is me with my fingers up to my temples, just like.
I feel like
trying
that
to brain
scream was
blast.
pretty descriptive though.
Yeah, we can
Yeah.
let the
I got an idea.
listeners visualize, use
I
their
realized
imagination.
out of
what-
context, though, that like I'm just like, oh yeah, Atticus is coming, and I'm just like,
Eddie's just pooping in the corner. It's fine.
keep all
dropping.
of this in the
Yeah.
episode. This is important lore.
I like that you're saying keep all of this. Motherfucker, you and Dude clean up the audio, you know.
Yeah,
I clean up the
when
audio.
you say edit,
Dude
it's
is
you.
master.
I control what stays and what goes.
Dude is Kevin.
Dudes are God.
So
It
for all
is
of our audio
God.
listeners back home, animate this, please.
I would cry. I would cry.
Oh my god.
Oh god.
All right.
All right.
All right, moving on.
All right, so the
Moving
Demon
on.
King is in my hole. Moving on.
Hey, you are late for our meeting. He greets in a slow, meticulous voice. But I shall forgive you. This one time. The only part of him, the only area to distinguish that he is more than a shadowy figure, are those eyes. Ones that send a chill up your spine, Felicity. Ones that were looking at you in the mirror, flat and wide, almost appearing like they're stuck. Perpetual shock, but gives off the stare of calculating every little movement you make.
Hot.
Yeah,
Kevin's
no.
got a thing for you.
Kevin's got the fuck me eyes.
I think you forgot that this is a call of probably a lot of monster fuckers. Like, let's be honest.
Probably.
You know what? Happy Pride.
I'm not proud.
We're all inclusive.
I'm not proud.
Uh,
My god.
if my mom and dad ever figure out how to work technology and find this podcast, oh, the disappointment.
The rest of you shuffle into the room. I'll bring Felicity and Norma. Norma, you're still a bit unsteady on your feet from reverting back.
Oh, Felicity is like helping Norma up and like making sure that she's, you know, like has sort of her arm like around to make sure that she's able to like get over there.
You all wander into the room. The figure looks at all of you, his eyes rolling over each slowly. They land upon Atticus. His eyelids don't droop down, but you can almost feel his stare narrow. Hello again, Mr. Mars.
Well, hello. I'm flattered. Things must have gotten pretty serious if they sent you here.
I was called, you may say. I could not find where you were. You've been awfully clever. But thankfully, one of your patrons, and he gestures a hand over to Norma, knocked and invited me over. A flash goes back as you remember Norma's flipping of the séance table.
Hulk smash. Norma smash.
Norma smash.
Eddie, who's still just kind of on the ground, like, because remember, he was thrown through a fucking wall.
Oh yeah.
Just very, like, trying to get his radio voice to come out once again as he's regaining, like, any feeling in his lungs. I fucking knew it.
Felicity kind of reaches down and like fist bumps Eddie.
Yield fist bump.
Yield fist bump.
Dudes do like the fist bump where it's like fist bump and then like hands out, but then it goes back again.
Yeah, with my one good hand. Like, I'm just kind of like Family Guy Peter Griffined onto the ground. Just absolutely like busted as shit. Slowly trying to recover.
The man doesn't even like peer at you, Eddie. He just kind of tilts his head looking at Atticus. And the air runs a bit colder. Just every second you're in there with him. It's hard to say that you've never seen anything like this thing before you. You feel the pure power and fear and dread that almost seem to radiate off of him. Almost as if he is nothing but broadcasting the worst of the worst emotions that a human can feel.
Why, for listeners, Felicity screamed herself hoarse in the last episode, and that's absolutely why she sounds like this, and it's not because I have a cold or anything like that.
Canon event.
But Felicity kind of looks at the demon and is like, why did you show yourself to me?
We were once supposed to meet. I thought it'd be nice to officially do it.
What?
Hot?
What? Would you like to elaborate on that, please, Mr. Sorry, I didn't catch your name. Kevin, was it?
I hate you all.
I'm so bummed that Eddie wasn't the one to say it.
It was a race on who could say it first.
It really was. Trying to figure out like who could bring this in sooner. Yes, Uncle.
Uncle Kevin.
Because I don't know your dreaded face from anything. So I would love it if you could please explain yourself in just general, because this type of mafficking is not acceptable, sir. And I have had it up to here. And she puts her hand as high as she can, which she's not very tall, so it's not that impressive, but she thinks it's impressive.
As you raise your hand, almost as it goes up, you feel it, like almost like an invisible hand grip your wrist, keeping it in there. You see the man behind the desk, he tilts his head again. You talk an awful much. Maybe that's perhaps why Mother and Father Dearest chose your brother instead. He then looks to Atticus and he goes, I feel saddened that you didn't introduce me. What is my name?
Well, I don't remember what your original dead Latin name was, but me and the boys, we just went with Kevin.
Me and the boys!
Me and the lads.
Me and the lads. Oh my god.
I love the idea that we canonically can't pronounce the demon's name. And we
The
just
sad part
decide
is, I know for a fact Fern knows the name, and he just refuses.
Oh, I do, yeah.
Me and the lads. Me and the lads.
Call him Kevin.
Me and the lads.
Listen, jokes aside, he looks at you and very seriously goes, what is my name?
Daddy? Fuck.
Well, your surname is Mr. Stratch, I believe it is? Or Scratch?
You may call me Mr. Scratch. My other names, you hear it on Sundays every so often. The feeling on your wrist, Felicity, drops.
I think she drops with it, like, to the
Just
floor.
like full on, like...
Yeah.
Norma drops with her. She's consoling Felicity.
Yeah, just...
Just a sad lump on the floor, the two of us.
Yeah, he looks around and he goes, you may all call me Mr. Scratch. Lets his eyes roll to each one of you. How lucky am I? All of you in one place. Certainly makes my job easier. He stands from behind the desk. He's not quite tall, the average size of a mortal man, but he seems so large in front of your eyes, so imposing. His hands, if he had hands that were visible for you to see, clasped in front of him, like a diligent man. You know how it can be. Sometimes subordinates can be ineffective. I made sure to come this time. I want what I am owed.
Well, it'd be nice to actually get a challenge this time then. But you are not getting what you're owed. You should know by now it's my job to stop that, Kevin.
I hate you all, this Kevin bit.
Mr. Kevin Scratch.
Mr. Kevin Scratch.
We can say that his name is Kevin Scratch, but you know his name.
Kevin Scratchy.
Oh my god.
Mr. Scratch.
One of the subordinates that is along the wall, the man, comes up to his side, and from his fine jacket, he pulls out a familiar-looking piece of parchment. A list that was brought by you, Atticus. He hands it over to Mr. Scratch, who opens it up and he goes, "You stopped me, you charlatan, but it was you all who made the deals. I am here what I am owed. Your names are on this list, and I want payment. A crook as of yourself may have spent years hiding away from me, but now I am seeking my payment." He places the list on the table. It's written in characters that you don't quite understand, after names written in English letters. Some names you do recognize. Felicity, Edward, Albrecht, Alexander, Norma, and Atticus.
I want to roll.
Roll what?
Oh shit, we can do that.
Read this, read this
Yeah.
situation, baby.
I was gonna say,
When did we make a deal?
Who wants to
What?
make a deal?
what would I have to
Deal or
roll
no deal?
to see if I recognize any of the other names on the list? Because this is the same list that I saw in the vision, but like now I have it in front of me, like I can look at it.
You would have to roll pretty much a full success of 10 and above.
Fucking bet.
Do it.
Is there any modifiers on that?
That would be...
Like, is this investigate a mystery?
This would be investigate a mystery.
All right, investigate.
It's sharp,
It's
right?
plus sharp. Okay, yeah, I got a +1. Let's see what happens.
Remember, you also have luck.
Good so far. We're good so far.
Mhm.
Ooh, 13.
Hey!
I'm reading the list. That is the best roll that I've had this entire series. It will not go uphill from here. Okay, 13 with the modifier. So I want to take a good close look at the list in a hopefully nonchalant way. Although he is a demon, he may notice me. I have no idea, but I'm gonna try it anyway.
As he speaks, his eyes are very much trained upon Atticus. You are able to, without being very obvious, able to look upon, position yourself on the floor up a bit so you can get a very clear look at the list. The symbols, while the others may not understand, you do. You have looked at tomes and ancient texts with these symbols. Letters of the heavens that are scribbled down between, on the left-hand side, names of those in the group, written in English, and then on the other side, a list of, you know their names from Sundays, from the dark tomes that you have read, names of demons. Names of princes of demons.
Do I recognize any of them in particular?
You recognize one. He made his name differently when you had spoken to him all those years ago. Asmodeus.
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 This is a shout out to puppet history.
Is it just Asmodeus, or do I see anything else along like that
Between
same
the
line?
names in the strange text, you can read, it's almost a little summary of what transpired between each. You can read the deal, we'll say. I'll let you decide if you wish to share it. The deal that was made by a Mr. Allison Scott Modius.
Allison Scott Modius. Fuck! Okay.
That fuck has a lot of backstory in there, so...
That has a lot of backstory in there, and...
Yeah, we could feel that.
Asmodeus.
A.S. Modius, yes. Allison Scott Modius.
Asmodeus.
Asmodeus. Fuck. You know what? Now is not the time.
Oh, shit.
Eddie's going to try to keep a level head, but now he doesn't trust fucking anybody.
Does he, like, visually show this? Like freaked out from reading?
Oh yeah, no, there's an air of sternness on Eddie's otherwise fairly rosy-cheeked comedic face, where suddenly a light seems to have turned off behind his eyes. And I'm going to leave it at that.
I think Felicity wants to sort of have a moment where she looks up from the floor and just kind of makes, I don't know about eye contact, because I don't know if he really has eyes, but like looks at Kevin.
Please say his name.
Mr. Scratch looks at Mr. K Scratch, and I'm so sorry. Okay, Mr. Scratch looks at Mr. Scratch and just says, "What did you do to him?" Any and all emotion is also kind of gone from Felicity's face, I think. Other than, like, you can see pain in her eyes, but not, like, before he talked to her, right? She was angry, she was, a little, she was, upset and all of this, and then sort of as soon as when she dropped, like, that emotion dropped too. But when she looks up at him, it's just, what did you do to him?
Mr. Scratch lays a hand on the list. Oh, I didn't realize some of you didn't know of our connection, we'll say. He picks up the list, looking at it. It's almost like he's a bit amused by it. He sits back down with the list, just reading it as he goes, ignoring the stares. My. What an entertaining twist of events. I shall remember this when I take your souls.
I said, what did you do to him?
My dear, I didn't do anything. Mother and father did. I would have never been involved if they weren't a bit greedier about what awaited them in the West. But you see, I am not evil, no matter what your preachers or leaders say. I never seek any of you out. You come to me. You want so much more than your world can provide. Some of you come for wealth, for stability, for safe passage. All we ask in return is a deal. Whether or not you or others say yes, I have no control over. He looks back to the list.
I'm gonna do something, and I'm gonna apologize ahead of time. We've established that Felicity has her, like, little clutch purse with her, right?
Mm-hmm.
She's gonna pull out her gun and shoot him.
Try it.
Oh, shit.
Try it.
You know what? Whatever I had in mind, fuck it. I want to see what happens now.
Alright, roll kick some ass.
Yeah, fuck my rolls. I want to see this.
I'm gonna roll, obviously kick some ass, or shake a flannen. I'm sorry, I'm gonna shake a flamingo and shake a revolver and pull out. Yeah, she has a, for those of you who are curious about particulars on what type of gun she has a S&W Ladysmith revolver, because of course she does. She's from the West, like she ain't fucking around. And I'm gonna roll to shake a flannen, but I might just use luck here for the hell of it. Yeah, I rolled a I rolled a 5, so I'm gonna mark experience, and then I'm gonna use a point of luck, because I have not used a point of luck this whole game, and this is the time. She's gonna shoot him. I don't think she thinks it's gonna work, but I think that...
But she just wants to.
She just really wants to.
Yeah.
Alright.
I support this wholeheartedly.
Take the gun out, and just before anybody can blink, just boom of the gun almost makes you all flinch back. It hits Mr. Scratch right where his heart would be if he had a heart. But he doesn't recoil. He doesn't move. The bullet digs into his chest and sinks in. You're almost cracking, like wood splintering as it digs into his flesh. But again, he doesn't react. Instead, he just slowly looks down to his chest, taking a hand and digging in with his forefinger and his thumb, digging in and pulling the bullet out. It's perfectly clean, no blood, no nothing, and squished with that as it hit its target. He then just drops it. He then looks up at you, Felicity. You're irritating me. And that's a very, very dangerous thing.
Felicity, weapons like that don't harm these demons. I don't know what you were thinking, but anyway, Mr. Scratch, I could see you're having your fun, but first of all, you know I'm not gonna let you collect those souls and finish those deals. That's why I'm here. So why are you wasting our time here? Let's just get to business.
I am in the middle of business. I am setting the deals once again, reminding you all of the reasons you're on my list, per se. Unlike every other time we have met and you've interfered with our business, you're in our domain now. I couldn't have planned it better if I wanted to. You're all creating Crimson Midnight. You're already half dead to begin with. I just need to bide my time a bit more. And he gestures to the view outside the window. That baby pink sky has now bled deeper and deeper. Not quite crimson, but horribly close. You see the moon almost at the perfect high point in the sky. There's not much time left. By the end of it, I will get what I was owed. You cannot stop me. You or your little club, who have been such a thorn in my side. I understand that the wealthy of this world do not wish to give up what they deserve to give up. I do not belong to this world. You made deals, Mr. Mars, all of you. Well, perhaps not yourselves, but those who promised you to them. And he looks at the list once more. A firstborn child. And yet, they didn't want to depart with their little baby girl. The secondborn, however, the boy right after, they decided would be a good deal. A child scratched by a wolf, given for one of my soldiers, acting upon this world, and yet they shuffle her out of Europe before we can come and pick her up. A man who took a book that another was given, a thief, you may say. So the contract goes now to you. A man who wished for fame and fortune and got upset when he didn't read the fine print. Why, the only one of you who happened to keep to our deal. Thank you, Mr. Breckenridge, for your father-in-law tried so hard to hide Violet from me. I told him the Oregon Trail is deadly. I told him that it would take a high payment for it, and he said she was perfect. All of you were on my list. Whether you like it or not, deals are made to be repaid. I have quotas to fill. There are many things that my business does. It runs smoothly, even he above. Always make sure that the list is clear. You will not escape this crimson light. I don't care how hard you try. The last of the pieces are protected. You see the demonic forms of flora and fauna behind him. You almost see for a brief minute over Fauna's eyes the glassiness fade a bit and almost like squint back to something familiar, something human.
Eddie would like to act under pressure.
Explain what you want to do.
I imagine when I was thrown through the wall that my holy knife ended up with me in some capacity.
It went through the hole, therefore it is always a holy knife. I'm so sorry. Nobody's laughed in a while. Nobody has laughed in a while.
Oh my
Sorry,
God.
guys, Felicity.
All right, sorry about that. I'm gonna go over here.
Do I, in this moment, reasonably know where that knife is?
Yeah.
I want to reach for the knife and try to just hold it behind my back.
Act under pressure.
I swear these dice aren't loaded. I swear
Did
they're
you-
not loaded. I don't know how I did this twice in a row. I got 12. Which act under pressure is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a fucking 12, my guy. And like, listen, you see that there's a 6 down there somewhere. I'll zoom in if I need to.
Gotta verify.
I trust you.
All I want to do
All I want to do is win.
is hold it behind my back. Just very like a distinguished gentleman, and just slowly pace towards Mr. Kevin Scratch.
Now remember, you are, like, in front of him. He is behind the desk.
I wish to approach the bench, Your Honor.
You grab the knife, and still on the floor, but sitting up to sneak in front of it without being in his view. So, like, back pressed against the front of the desk with the knife in hand.
Is Scratchy holding the list still?
Yes.
I'm debating doing something not
I was
smart.
gonna say, I'm just walking at this point. I want to see how the rest of the room reacts.
You're
as well.
approaching Mr. Scratch, like slowly?
very slowly.
Okay.
Kind of more of a wobble than a distinct like step forward, like a third grader trying to ask the teacher a question.
Do I do it? Can I shoot the list?
You can try.
I love it. Felicity supports this fully.
Because I have a holy gun.
Oh, you do.
Mm-hmm.
Holy gun!
Holy gun.
Alright, so that's I'm slapping a flopper.
By the way, I just want to say that I did not hint nor say at all for 3 sessions that I had a gun because I knew there was going to be a moment. I was going to pull it
Yeah.
out. It was going to be a great moment.
You played the
God,
long
I'm
con.
so glad.
And where are the sisters relative
They're
to...
behind him. They're
right
behind
behind
Mr.
him?
Scratch.
There's a Scratch, sisters. Are there more than just those two?
There is the man and the woman who are against one of the walls.
Do
of the
any of us
desk just watching.
recognize them?
That's a great question.
Should all of us roll to see?
I described them. I didn't tell you if you knew them.
You did describe
One.
them.
One recognizes the man, and one recognizes the woman. The man, Eddie, you remember from an alleyway so many years ago, before your start, a man whose name you read not more than a minute ago. The woman, though he had never seen her per se, he had seen images of her, an author that Albrecht had been searching for. Of course, he's not fucking here.
A piece of shit.
Where is he?
He might be taking a shit.
We have break time built into the schedule.
Shits wait for no one.
Gotta go, you gotta
I
go.
hope he has his headphones on.
I hope
This
so too.
isn't corporate. We don't shit on company time.
Yeah, you're not getting paid to shit.
Welcome to the intermission, where, we're just talking about flower shit.
I really hope that the headphones are still on and like you can hear all of this.
Hey, Flower, you pooping?
Have a good poop.
I hear him. He's laughing.
Okay.
You pooping okay?
You
Are
pooping?
you pooping okay? Lots of
I
fiber?
believe in you.
Don't push too hard.
We talking nuggets? We talking a flat stinkums? What are we doing?
How many pieces?
Are you wiping a marker?
Is this like a bidet situation? Are we wet wipes kind of?
Did you wash your hands?
Yeah.
Was it a ghost poop?
For listeners, while I was going into this dramatic reveal, Flower decided to go to the bathroom, but kept his headphones on.
We heard that, young man.
Oh my god.
But yes, the other two. Both men you do recognize, one from each. The woman, again, you know from images that you have searched in your quest to find her. The author herself. Are you still? Still breaking down.
We're still
Flower
laughing.
still with us.
got himself together.
Okay, give us a second.
Hello, Poopsie.
Making bears.
The Browns to the Super Bowl?
That's a new one. Oh my god.
Oh god.
Eddie will continue to meander.
I did roll a 10 on my shooting the
Yeah.
list.
Okay. And
Yeah.
Atticus will, seeing that they're all trying to get Mr. Scratch's attention, head towards the sisters.
Oh. You get your gun out, Alexander. Are you just shooting right away, or are you just gonna have the gun out and threaten?
Oh no, he quick draw shooting the list.
Fuck yes.
Okay.
No list, no deal.
What did you roll?
I rolled a 10.
Nice. You old western style, just yeah. Bring out the gun. A gun that is blessed. So when it does make connection with the list, it does go through. It leaves a full hole in the very center where the edges almost burn, growing on the parchment. However, that fire, once it almost reaches the edges, almost plays in reverse and comes back and just heals itself again. Mr. Scratch looks at you and is like, good idea. I like you the most. I would have let you go, no problem. But this I can't really forgive. I hope you understand. He then snaps his free hand, and the gun just kind of slips from your grip, no matter how hard you were holding it prior. It's like all feeling in your hand just left.
Catch it with my other hand.
I bring out my second holy gun.
Just start unloading on him.
And as you try to get it in a good position, the man, Mr. Modius, as you remember calling him once ago, places a hand iron on your shoulder. He doesn't say anything, but as you look up, with his other hand, he just wags his finger saying, "Don't you dare."
Dare.
He's so evil, but he's so hot.
Dare.
Why just be so
This
confident?
is the episode of stupid shit. Do it.
So what's this like status of the sisters? Are they like very? Can I like read a situation, like see like what their alignment is?
Yes.
What's up with them?
I'm gonna use luck.
Okay. The sisters, they almost appear like the other two demons in the room. However, almost like flickers from a projector. Every so often their eyes go back to something a bit more clear, a bit more present. The blank stare turns almost into, in one sister, almost fear, and the other sister, defiance. In the midst of one of these flickers, their eyes turn to you. You see their bodies almost shake, like chills. As they turn to you, but don't act. It's like every so often you see them, and then you see what they have become, and then them again, and then what they have become. But they are trying. The one closest to you, Fauna, and remember, gently, as if like there's a weight on her arm that she is fighting, reaches a tightly clasped fist above and is struggling to bring it. While this happens, the woman demon, the other woman, the one in a nightgown with her hair up, looks to you, Albrecht. She doesn't say anything. She just looks at you. You don't entirely know what she's asking, but you do know the subject. The book. You know that she knows you have it.
Had.
Is she cute?
She is a shadow demon.
That doesn't answer
So,
my question.
I mean, so possibly.
That didn't answer my question.
Yes. You cutie patootie.
What's the silhouette like?
Welcome to Roll No Evil, where statistically everybody wants to fuck a monster.
It is called Monster
thing.
of the Week for a reason.
Fuck a monster every week.
I like
Just
that.
the monster of the week.
Just another-
Does the study we're in, is it kind of like a library kind of study?
No, it's a study. There are bookshelves on either side. However, they're not all books. Some of them look to be like ledgers. Some of them look to be, documents that are on the shelves. There's not books to read rather than things to keep everything in order, if that makes sense.
So Albrecht's book wouldn't be on one of the shelves.
Not here. There is a library in this home, but not here.
I swear this isn't for horny reasons. Can we see Mr. Scratch's feet underneath the desk? I needed it said. Like, can you see his legs? Like, can you see through the desk, or is it like one of those executive desks?
It's an executive
We're
desk.
talking like fucking FDR with his fucking wheelchair.
We're talking, you can't tell if, if he's sick with something.
This is important, I swear.
I'm glad that you all were here for this. I'm really glad.
What's his score on WikiFeet?
Just feet, yeah.
I want to see a
his
Mr. Scratch wiki feed.
Mr. Scratch.
What's Kevin's score on WikiFeet?
Ye old
wiki
He owns
feet.
wiki feed. It's a column in the paper.
The latest feet pics. You wouldn't believe.
Encyclopedia Orthopedia.
In your notes, who had papers?
Okay, wait, I was just looking at that actually. Okay, so the papers, that was Atticus that was on the table. But it was the book, so there was a book that was my book on a nightstand. There's papers on a table that were Atticus's, and I'm assuming those papers on a table are this fucking executive desk. A locket in a bedroom for Norma, which we got. A book on a bookshelf for Albrecht. A keychain on a cold, damp floor for Eddie, and a ring on a kitchen cutting board for you, my dear.
We got the ring, we got the locket.
Mm-hmm.
And the papers is the list.
The papers kind of exist already, or we know where they are. Does he look like he's going away, or is he just gonna sit there? Because I was. What's he up to? What's he doing?
He's stationed there, but again, the conversation may take it in different places. You've obviously seen that fighting does one thing.
I think Felicity's just still in shock, so she's just gonna be fucking. She's on the floor. She's on the floor, and she still has her hands around the gun, but they've like kind of lowered. But she's still like I like the image that she was like this when she shot, and then all like even when she saw it didn't work, she just kind of like lowered it. But she's still like, think Winry in Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood when she almost shoots Scar, right? That's where we're at.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Except instead of sobbing uncontrollably, she's like more in fucking shock, but like same vibes.
Mm. So the woman still stares at you, Albrecht. She doesn't quite flicker in terms of, back to who she once was, like the sisters are, but there is an air about her. She almost takes a step towards you. She just stares. You spent so long searching for her, and there she is. Not in the way that you wanted, but here she is. Who is she, Albrecht?
She would be who I know as Lydia Bowes.
A name that was seen on the list within Atticus's mind that Eddie saw. The list on the table, Mr. Scratch now puts down the list after the fact. On the piece of paper, from your vantage point, you can see from the corner of your eye that list. Where your name is, it's almost as if it was written atop another name. Lydia, and on top, Albrecht. The text in, only Eddie was able to recognize. However, you get an idea of what it is. The connection you have to her. The book.
It's the Bible.
It
It is just a New King James Bible.
I realize those are in hotels everywhere. We didn't need to come here.
Grab the list and run.
Almighty ghost host.
Yes?
Am I able to shake the grasp of Mr. Modius?
No.
Okay, so that's death gripped on my shoulder right now.
That is death grip.
Fuck.
Yeah. Mr. Scratch leans in the chair that he's at. There's only really. He turns a bit to look at the moon and the sky. 2 hours or so left until you are mine. I have to say, I have enjoyed these little games in quite a long time. Now I understand why my employees, and he gestures to all of them, always seem to come back with a smile on their faces. I'll let the counter run out. I'm having a bit of fun. You won't succeed, but I like the thrill of it. He has the list and he just kind of pushes it to the front of the table. You can't succeed whatsoever. I've hidden the pieces. You'll receive a few, however, there are the others that I have certain... Well, as you can see, certain familiar faces that are guarding them for me. I'll give you until the midnight. And he looks around to all of you. Or maybe I won't. He kind of just shrugs. I don't know. I'm having fun, but at the same time you have irked me quite a bit. And he looks to the others. Mr. Modius yanks Eddie up by his shoulder. You are frozen.
Ow.
Yeah. While he speaks, you see one of the sisters just step a bit forward. You don't hear her, but she turns her head as if she is speaking to Mr. Scratch. There's no noise. While that goes on, the sister closest to you, Atticus, the one who is straining to hold her arm, you feel her, that closed fist, just jam into your hand, and you feel a cool, smooth material. She places something there.
Is this flora or fauna?
This would be fauna. She places something there and just uses that hand to seal up your fingers. It's a shape that... It's a familiar shape to you, but she is keeping your fist clenched before she brings her hand back, letting that shape just kind of bring her back into a stance, I guess, that the new her will take. The other sister, Flora, steps back, and Mr. Scratch looks back at all of you and just stares and stares. Feels like forever until he kind of sighs and says, "An interesting proposition, my dear. Interesting indeed. In this house lies the spirits. Those whose deals were created who each have their tokens, as some of you have known. You've already collected a few. There's still a few left. Retrieve them and end their connection before the crimson midnight, and you shall live to see a blue sky. Do not then, I should tell you what happens when we meet again." He looks to the sisters as he stands, looking at either side of his shoulder. You don't know what she said to him, but you do see Flora's body almost, her wrists and her fingers almost begin to contort a bit as she tries to keep them in line and keep up the visage of being prim and proper, but you can see pain flash before her eyes. Whatever she did, she bought you time. "Apologies, but I must depart. The work is never done, after all. I would postpone, but my attention is to be earned." He tucks his hands behind his back. "I'll only be momentary. I am very eager to begin, but you all have begun." Like a gentleman, he gives a little bow. In between blinks, he's gone. All of them are gone. The room is put back together. No hole in the wall, no nothing. Everything prim and proper. Eddie falling back onto the floor, but never feeling it.
Fuck.
Just suspended at one time and then back on his feet. And then on the desk is the parchment, the list. Another token, that another step to winning your freedom.
Hello, you've made it to the midway point of episode 4, called The Devil's in the Details. I play the initiate Atticus Mars and will be telling you a little bit about his backstory. Atticus's job is to fend off the lesser demons that have been sent to collect on their deals made by their demon lords with the wealthy aristocrats of early 20th century New York. Atticus got involved in demon hunting after one of his wealthy friends contacted him and told him about their dealings with the occult and that they needed protection from the demons that were coming to collect. Atticus assured them that he could protect them and was hired on the spot. Now, Atticus had no idea how to actually deal with these demons, so in a desperate act, he contacted Asmodeus, a demon known for being particularly mischievous. He asked Asmodeus to grant him knowledge to kill off these lesser demons/henchmen. Now, Asmodeus surprisingly accepted this deal, but warned Atticus that if any demon lords found out about this, that he would be on his own. Atticus then had a successful run at protecting his employers until a demon lord took it upon themselves to collect on his deal with one of Atticus's very close friends, who Atticus subsequently failed to protect. That is what brought Atticus to the séance, as he wished to contact his lost friend. Thanks for listening, and if you want more rollnoevil content, you can find us on TikTok, YouTube, and Tumblr at rollnoevil. We very much appreciate all of you, and enjoy the rest of the episode.
Well, thank goodness he's gone. God, certainly is a chatterbox.
Oh, I said we grab that shit and get it going.
Felicity is just gonna, without a word, get up and leave the room.
Norma's gonna follow her.
Mark experience.
I was worried about.
Yeah, don't let her go by herself.
I'm gonna go and just try, because Felicity wants to go find her brother's book.
Listen, you're gonna walk out, and then Norma, you're gonna follow. Norma, what are you doing?
Yeah, I'm following her. Norma wouldn't say anything. She's like, yeah, that's a lot to digest. So she's just gonna quietly follow her.
And also, Jen, I'm gonna let you tell me when to mark experience for I go somewhere scary. When I go off by myself to check out somewhere something scary, I'm gonna let you tell me what that is because she'll just fucking walk up and go anywhere. And I think Felicity's gonna just, I think she's, because I know you said that there were 7 rooms up in the top floor. One of them was the sister's bedroom. That was where Norma found the locket. One of them's this. Then there's the hole to the study.
The hole has been patched up. The entire room is back.
No more Eddie holes?
No more Eddie holes.
Eddie's hole's been filled.
Episode 4.
She's just gonna go. She's gonna go to the last room. So if there's 3 on one side and we've been done to 2, she's gonna go to the last one on the left and she's just gonna walk in because she's just done.
Atticus will grab the list and probably look what's in his hand, but like secretly, I guess.
In your hand is the planchette from the beginning. In whatever last moments she had, she gathered herself enough to put it there. You don't have the board, but you do have the planchette.
Hey, Atticus. Not Eddie asking. How much damage do you have right now?
I'm at 3 hurt.
Okay.
I was thinking about it. I was thinking about being a bit.
So now, I guess.
For now.
Yeah.
There was a moment where Felicity almost turned her gun on Atticus, but I think she like if she was slightly less shocked, she totally would have. There was a brief moment where I was like, I can point my gun at Atticus, and then I was like, it's close though. It's not as close.
Now that we're sharing secrets, if Asmodeus hadn't stopped me, I would have pulled the knife on Atticus, not Mr. Scratch.
Yes.
I love
10 out,
it.
by the way, 10 out of 10.
Mr. Mercenary with the list over here. Got my shit list now.
If Felicity didn't walk out, Norma would have used her strength to like shove Atticus to the table. Like, why the fuck
So
did you
it's just
bring
like
this list?
everyone just fucks up Atticus.
Well, now we know that Atticus is at the center of all of this, so now it's like it's free range
Atticus
right now.
is doing his job.
Felicity's got it.
Me and Wizard Boy are
Taking
fine
orders.
now.
Now you're good.
You know Wizard Boy.
Can Alexander, like, by the back of his shirt, just grab Atticus and shove him to the list?
Yeah.
Fucking
Remember, one of you can read those symbols, as they saw before. Yes, Travis. It's you, sweetie.
Listen, sometimes
me?
I don't know.
As Alexander doesn't know that.
True. Actually, nobody should know
Nobody
that at this
knows.
point, except for maybe Atticus, because I did ask him directly when I read his mind, like, so tell me, what did you do to get Asmodeus's attention?
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
That was like episode 2 or something.
Yeah.
But like he at least knows I know the name. I don't know that he knows I can read it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Atticus is gonna shove back.
I'm an innocent bystander.
He's gonna just use the butt of his spear against fucking Alex for grabbing him like that.
Alex, where'd you grab him?
I grabbed him by like the back of his shirt and
Yeah,
shoved
it's like
him
the
to
collar.
the desk.
He like did the whole.
He's
like,
grabbing the back, so you wouldn't probably be able to.
Yeah, so it's like a grab and like shove you to the list.
Oh, like I was not like the spear, like with like the butt of the spear.
Oh, like the
like
back.
whole-
Yeah, like
okay.
that. Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
During their tussle, I want to roll.
Stab him.
Actually, hold on. I got to figure out the best way to phrase this, because in a certain game from the wizards of the spell bearers of the seaboard, it would be an intimidation check.
Mm-hmm.
How do I do that
that-
here?
manipulate someone?
I think
Would it be
Manipulate.
manipulate somebody? Okay.
Yeah, maybe manipulate someone.
Yeah.
Alright. So as they're fighting each other, fuck. Shit. Well, first off, that's a 5. I'm gonna mark experience, but I'm gonna use luck on this one.
Okay.
How much luck have you used?
2 as of now.
Okay. I was just wondering.
Remember, the more you use it, the more bad stuff could happen.
Oh yeah.
I'm counting on it.
Ooh.
I mean, I'm gonna die here anyway. 'cause you
We're all gonna
yourself.
die.
As he's like recovering from the little shove that Alex gave him, I grab his other shoulder, turn him around, put the knife to his throat, and bring him to the table. Now you're gonna tell me how and why you brought me into this. All of the accent is gone. All of the color in my face is gone. You're going to answer this.
All of you need to calm down, okay? I think there's been some misunderstandings here.
Then clear it up.
We're dealing with demons here. They have devilish ways to get you involved. My job is to stop them from collecting on these deals that clearly you were all unfairly brought into. So I don't know where all this hostility is coming from. Like, I'm on your guys' side, trying to stop these demons, and from my other employers.
Then why would you involve us?
Like the rest of you, I just saw the ad. I want to talk to somebody, my previous employer. I came here to the sisters. I didn't know there's going to be demons here. I mean, I brought my spear because I bring that everywhere.
You know you do.
Who is your employer? I'll roll again if I need to.
No, it's gone strong.
It's still strong?
Yeah, you're gonna tell him.
Okay.
And you have to actually tell.
It's Mrs. Webb.
It's a name that you all instantly recognize. One of the wealthiest women in America. A socialite of New York. You know who she is. It's almost like hearing the name Rockefeller.
Yeah, like a Gatsby kind of character.
Yeah.
Known for her ballroom parties.
I don't know if I can ask this or if I need to roll to understand it. Was Miss Webb in the room with us?
No.
No? Okay. So
She was not.
The womanly figure
No, that was...
next to Allison was not Miss Webb. Okay.
No.
I'm hired by the rich so they can keep their wealth. And yes, by no surprise, they got their wealth from very devilish means. But, that shouldn't be a shock. It's America.
Oh, I wish I was still in the room. It's fine. It's fine. I left. It was my choice.
Yeah, you're on your side story.
With the blade still pressed against his neck, I move it ever so slightly to the left. Just enough to draw blood.
You're not gonna take a point of harm, but you are at mercy of answering whatever he wants.
What did Miss Webb want with Daisy?
I don't know anything about that. I just know she wanted her money, and keep her other friends in the railroad business extra wealthy.
Don't lie to me. Why am I here?
I don't know, okay? I'm being honest with you. I don't know why any of you are here. Really.
The list is on the table, Eddie. And you can read it.
Wasn't he... Wait, you were reaching for the list, though, weren't you? You were trying to hide it?
Well, I was trying to grab... I was looking, what, Flora gave me, and then was heading towards the list.
/ Alexander pushed him into the list.
Okay.
Well, yeah, because I was walking, then Alex tried to push... And then you...
Yeah.
Just trying to deal with all this assault.
Still holding the blade to his neck. Just the smallest amount of blood from the trickling from the edge. I raise the blade up high. With all of the vitriol of someone who has lost a loved one. And I bring the blade down.
Where, you're gonna just stab him?
And that's where we're cutting this episode.
No.
If it was my call, that would have been perfect. No. I bring the blade down. So that it goes through the list, pinning it to the table. Next to your head. And I throw you to the side.
Fuck.
Alright, now Atticus, you're gonna take a point of harm.
Of course.
As you bang backwards on where the hole once was and now it's patched up, you are crashing in the back. Your back and the back of your head against it, so you will be taking a point of harm.
Didn't think I was gonna die from the players and not the DM.
Eddie?
Eddie's gonna take the list and kind of hold it close to himself so that he can almost skim it as he's reading it loud, to make sure that he's giving only the information that the group should know to the group. All right, so there's 3 columns. There's names, there's the deal, and then there's the demon that created the deal. At least that's my assumption of it. Top of the list is Atticus Mars. Gifted knowledge to kill demons, as long as he does not interfere with the dealer's contracts. And then there's a another note kind of scribbled below that, saying, wanted for the debts of the dealer and the other demons seeking their rewards. And then just the name Asmodeus. There seems to be a few names crossed out. There's a Felix Anderson, but it's crossed out, and then right above it, Felicity Anderson. Parents exchange firstborn soul after first harvest in exchange for fertile land. And then there seems to be like almost differently written below that. It says parents approach to changing daughter to son as payment. And then son could not be exchanged. The demon for Felicity Anderson was Amon, or Amon? Below that, Violet Breckenridge, but that name's also crossed out. There's a lot of crossed out names on this list. Right below that, though, is Alexander Breckenridge. It says Violet Breckenridge is promised by her father after 10 years for safe passage on the trail. Alexander protects Violet from the acquisition, and then a little bit below that says Violet is obtained. The demon on that deal was Donner. Another name crossed out, Lydia Bowes. But right below it is Albrecht Elsinger. Gifted the book and the ability to perform magic. Took the book, the contract was transferred to Albrecht Elsinger from the demon Mephistopheles. And last name on the list I can make out is Norma Rosedale. Promised by Costas, passed on the curse in exchange for their freedom. The demon Bael. I don't know what to make of this, and all these crossed out names, all of these amendments and addendums to this list, but this is truly what we're dealing with here. The reason that we're all here.
I was waiting for one of them to be Beelzebub, so I could go, Beelzebub, Beelzebub.
Episode 4. Eddie exposes the whole plot.
Episode 4. Everyone's secretly loaded.
Everyone's gunning to kill Atticus.
Fuck yeah.
Gunning for Atticus.
Fucking
I
right.
kind of love that.
So Eddie read the list with one omission,
Yes.
which now is obvious because he's finished talking. And
And he read the list aloud, but not his.
so I'm going to bend down, pick up my gun, and just kind of casually, like, not like point it, but kind of like gesture to Eddie and be like, and you?
Do you want to do manipulate someone, or you want to let Eddie decide?
Oh, it's going to be a manipulate.
Ooh.
As he's rolling manipulate, can I roll telepathy?
On who?
On Alexander. I want to put some thoughts into their head.
Well, I rolled a 6.
Mark
Mark experience, and yes, you can, because he did not intimidate you.
Okay, because I was going to say, I want to roll, like, basically, these are not the droids you're looking for with telepathy.
Alexander had a voice crack. That's why he wasn't intimidated.
Yeah.
What about you?
What about you?
Shit.
You will now, because he failed in the manipulate, you'll have an advantage, so you can do a +1.
Okay.
Swear to God, if you make him point it at me.
Just shoot Atticus.
Kill John Lennon. It'd be plus weird. And
Yeah.
then that +1.
Yeah. You get +3.
Okay, so it's a 10.
What are you doing?
Well, now that you put the idea in my head.
Kill
John Lennon.
I put the idea in your head that what you just asked isn't actually as important as finding the items like the demon said. As I make the announcement of saying we need to find the items and we need to find them now.
Well, in your mind, Alexander, you get... It's almost like you're remembering something that you don't actually have the memory of the location of the rest of the items. The book, the Rabbit's Foot, and the Sherlock Holmes book. All 3 swim around in your head. Now, you have a better idea of what each is, one of which being the book.
So Alexander, with that, will go later then and walk out.
Felicity's way ahead of y'all.
Felicity's out of research.
I was gonna say, in the time that this took, how far ahead is Felicity?
Oh, I
Like,
feel
is
like
she in
I've done
catching
some
up
shit.
range, or is she gone?
I feel like if it happens simultaneously, she's probably about to enter.
Like, how many demons have you seen since we've had this
I
interaction?
was gonna say, because
Yeah.
y'all had that, I mean, that whole, I was gone before the whole, like,
Yeah.
Eddie and Atticus
Yeah.
thing, like,
And
the reading of the
minutes.
list. I'm probably
Sure.
fucking, I've done shit.
Seen at least 3 demons.
Yeah. In the time that this has been happening, you, Felicity, and Norma have been,
Side questing.
at the very beginning of this, you've been side questing. You went to a room that you specified.
Yeah, and I want to say, like, Felicity goes in, and then I think right as she's, like, opening the door, because she knows that Norma's behind her, she just kind of, like, reaches back, like, grabs her hand, like, squeezes it once, and then, like, opens the door as just, like, a thank you for being here. Look, BFFs, I'm making it happen. And then she goes in and she opens the door.
The room is a library.
Oh, fuck. She closes it and turns around and goes into another room. I shit you not.
Not again. I kind of imagine just like demons like standing there too, just like hello, and then just closes them.
Like
Yeah,
behind
he's
the
just
door
like
jam, like
stands up
waiting.
in the door.
So she has this sweet moment, squeezing the hand, then opens the door and just like, fuck. Closes it.
Listen, it's a library with nothing that looks very atypical. There's
Look.
nothing in it.
Nope.
Still no?
I'm gonna try the door.
She wants her
I'm
room.
gonna try the door across the way.
All right. You are like bickering, like going back and forth and having this very intense moment. Like, Albrecht, you can see, because you're like not into it, you're just standing in the room, silent. You can just see the two of them just kind of like Scooby-Doo going to a different room, different down the hall.
I know that my book is on a nightstand, right? So like, what am I
Yeah.
gonna do in a fucking library?
There's other items.
I don't give a shit.
Fine,
There
Albrecht's
could be a
book.
parasol table in the
Could
library.
not give less of a fuck.
All right.
Yeah, no, she tries the room across the way.
All right. That one. Like, part of me is just like, it is not another bedroom, and it's just like the bathroom. Part is like,
A room of mirrors.
Do what
keep
sparks
going.
joy.
After like 2 more doors.
Where's the vision of my item? It's in
The
like
basement.
Cold, dark
The
basement.
basement.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
a cold, damp floor, I think is what we determined
Cold,
it
damp
was.
floor, but it's not the kitchen with
Not.
the moist towels.
With the fucking burnt towels.
With the burning
The
towels.
The ash of the towel.
oh my god.
Is
so
this what you
funny.
expected when you wrote this campaign?
I hope so.
I want you to know that there has been, since we began, I had a very clear and concise story that I was going to foretold. I have made at least 10 iterations. So, we now have 2 groups. That door?
Yeah.
Alright. It's the library again. No.
It's a wraparound library.
It is literally like,
It's
it's
a
a
wraparound.
view.
It's the stairs. And we had the fucking one sister's bedroom. We had the study. We had the fucking library. And now we're going to this
Okay,
one.
so we are at the tip of the shaft of this phallic
Yeah, we are.
shaped hallway and rounded.
It'll be
rooms at the
Atticus's
bottom.
favorite room. All right.
Just the tip, Atticus. Let's go.
I'm so sorry you're
Loves
getting
his
bullied,
job.
but also I'm not that sorry.
I will say I wasn't expecting like the Atticus character to be like almost like a linchpin in this of like.
Oh yeah.
I love it.
This is
Yeah.
like a turning point. I kind of love this.
10 out of 10.
Well done.
Even if we are bullying you, it's because it's a well developed character to be able to bully it.
It's out of love and plot.
Albrecht, you do see Felicity and Norma kind of pass through the door again, but you also see the argument that's going on.
Mhm.
What do you do?
He would probably be getting tired of the bickering at this point and join the others.
Is that Alberic or is that just you as you?
That's just flower.
Little column A, little column B.
It's less bickering and more just bullying up.
Or Atticus.
Alberic isn't even bullying. Alberic's just standing there.
Yeah.
It's all just shafts and spears in that room. I'm ready to get out.
Too much testosterone.
Too much
It's
phallic.
unbeknownst to Albrecht, him and I have no beef anymore.
All gone.
Albert gives Eddie a hug
I
and
wouldn't
leaves.
blame you for leaving either. I've been a dick this entire campaign.
You exit the room and you see Felicity reaching to one of the doors. You also, the door to the library, she is close. You almost hear like a faint humming from that room. The others clearly don't hear it, but you do. But Felicity is going towards that door. You're at another crossroads.
Is it humming a tune?
Yeah, what type of hum?
It's just like a drone, just yeah.
Perfect.
Hamburger, cheeseburger, Big Mac, Whopper.
It's Mongolian throat singers in the. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're the one who has to listen to this later.
It's really me that listens to it.
Oh, you're fucking right.
So,
Make your choice.
so
Yeah.
Just on the other side of the door. Fuck the library. Let's go to the Mongolian room.
Let's just jam out with the Mongolian throat singers. That just
Just go listen to the Who.
be here.
the best part is how loud that was.
Yeah, that was so
You hear this
loud.
light humming. Ooh.
You hear this light humming. Ah.
All right, just to clarify, the humming is from the library, right?
Yes.
Which is the door I'm no longer going to.
Albrecht would have been going to follow those two, but then hearing this sound, does he understand that it's the library that it's coming from?
You don't know per se, but you get the inference based on what you had seen of where the book is. You just inherently know.
Thinking about the book and all the information it contains and the situation we're in, and he's not one to go off on his own. But in this situation, he will. And he'll pivot and head to the library.
We're gonna do something fun because you're alone. So you're gonna go to the door and open it, correct?
Mhm.
I need you to roll no modifiers.
Roll no modifiers, okay.
Yep. And I'm not gonna tell you why.
My dumb ass is over here just like, what move is that? Like looking in the rule book.
Can I use luck?
No.
Alright, roll the 2.
I blame you, Jen. It's the dice you gave me. It's the bullet dice.
Yeah, my dice are stored somewhere and I haven't found them yet, so I'm using
Nice bullet dice.
Yeah, except they gave me 2, so.
The library seems empty. Everything is covered in red light behind curtains that just flow in unfelt breezes. In the square room, there is, covering each wall except the one that the door is in, large bookcases. Some books look older, some look newer. Some you know for being of the more practical sense, but some, in the fiction world, they are filled to the brim. And between all these bookcases, there is a little side table and 2 chairs. They're almost positioned to greet you.
Just because it stood out to me, Albrecht is going to go pick a chair and sit.
All right. I need you to roll again.
A 7. No modifiers.
Mm-hmm.
A 7, no modifiers.
You know it's bad
Never.
when.
Met anyone who fucking types as ferociously as you, and I love you for it.
I have indented my keyboard in areas where I have just typed really hard.
I think your microphone is just loose on top of the keyboard.
Yeah, it's just like one of those like headphone microphones from like TikTokers, but the mic is just sitting on top of the keyboard.
The way it sounds.
Yeah.
Yes, it's so loud.
Okay.
Yeah, it's so loud. It's like
Sorry.
an
Adds
earthquake
to it.
Clickety clacks.
All right, so you sit in one of the seats. It's of a crushed velvet. very nice chair, one you could see yourself resting in with a cup of tea and a nice book. Your back faces the window, ample space from the wall. Behind you, you can almost hear a creaking. In the seat beside you, you can hear that velvet groan a bit as an indent forms in the seat. Nothing is there, but there is a clear indentation in the cushion.
Guess he would just say the name kind of inquisitively. Lydia?
The cushion where the back is sink in a bit, almost as a response. You've been silent all game, motherfucker. Now it's your turn.
So the book was not yours.
You hear almost a creaking of the floor. Again, almost like a response. You never see anything, but you hear just one creaking of a floorboard. Almost as a yes.
When I found it in that chest, locked away in the old house, was it there to be hidden away?
One of the books on the bookshelf falls a bit from where it was like propped up. Nothing loud, nothing dramatic, just a little bit. Another one movement.
How well can I see the book?
Everything is a bit bathed in darkness, but you don't recognize the book as something specific. It is just a book that was propped on one side on an angle and then shifted to going to the other by an unseen force that sits beside you.
It felt like you were trying to say something in the room before. What was that?
A few of the books tumble from the bookshelf, their faces pointing up. The titles almost form a sentence. One of the books says, "Apologies." Another book says, "I, my dear." Looks like to be a romance novel. And then the other one goes, "Danger. Tales of the Supernatural" is the last book, a heavy-looking tome.
I suppose you don't really have anything to apologize for. I took the book. I read it. I learned what was within those pages.
From one of the books on the shelves, it almost opens a bit where there's a bookmark with, again, no breeze. It falls down and gently lays in your lap. In elegant handwriting, it says, "Sins of the past taint the future."
I suppose you're searching to make amends. Can you help?
You hear from behind you rattling of the bookcase. You turn around to peer at it. But it stills once you look. You turn back and the indent in the cushion is now gone. But on the little table between them is your book. The disarray that it was in originally, no looking tome, but obviously time had ravaged it. It almost looks as though it's been repaired. Embossed gold, with the pages no longer torn or bent, the spine looking as though it has never been cracked. There is a little bit of paper sticking out, and another bookmark smashed between the pages.
He's definitely gonna pick that up and flip to that page.
The page looks as though paint had been brushed atop. You can see almost the shadow of the eldritch symbols and diagrams that you know were there as you've read the book, but has been painted over to have new information on top. The bookmark that is there says, in the same handwriting as before, "These sisters bought time. They gambled their eternal lives on you. I will guide you towards the end. Good luck, fellow scholar." The page is filled with diagrams in the shape of a circle, crude little sketches of a ring, a piece of parchment, a book, a rabbit's foot, a locket, another book. Stand on the sides, gently placed in this large circle, in the same order as when all of you had produced them at the beginning of the séance. On the opposite end, you see the planchette, and the word is scribbled beneath it. You can't really see what the word says, but in the very center of that circle, you see an instruction. It says, "Tell them goodbye." And that's where this episode ends.
10 out of fucking 10.
Holy shit. We need this animated now.
Oh my god. It's
was
so
Oh
good.
my god.
Oh, by the way, just for a little peek behind the curtain, all that typing I was doing and rolling, complete bullshit.
I figured.